What is going on, Babylonians? It's me, Songs of Raids, and I'm back with some more synced content to bring to the channel. Now today we're going to be having a look at the Seer specifically when it comes to the PvE mode and being able to run through those dead sectors. Now more specifically what I was doing was being able to do some videos towards the movement mechanics, and I was trying to get some footage for it, and then when I went up to one of the exchanges I was able to come across a mod called Turn the Tide, and I realised that as soon as I picked this up it was just insane as to how strong this can be, and it just makes every single dead sector run after that just an absolute breeze. Now unfortunately we've only got to be able to test that in the first 2 dead sectors, so while these are relatively easy in of themselves, I would love to be able to test these out in some of the harder difficulties just to make sure that these do stack up there as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look into the mod, we're going to do a proper breakdown to be able to explain what makes it so good, what makes it so effective, and why you should always gravitate towards this as soon as it appears in every single exchange. If you do enjoy the video, if you like some of the synced content that's coming to the channel, make sure you do drop that like and subscribe to always come back ready for that next video. But with all that said and done, let's get right into it. So let's have a look into the mod in of itself. Now the mod called Turn the Tide basically reads, after knocking down a nano its body pulses and triggers and allows you to be able to do invoke possession. What this does is your companion must now be in your nano arm mode. It has a charging time of 5 seconds, and what this means is when you aim down sight just as standard while the Seer is attached to your arm, it will send out a cone. It will affect a bunch of enemies' bodies that are within a cone, and you'll see what the bodies actually look like. You can see that they have a specific corpse that's attached to it, almost as if it was like a prime nano that you've managed to defeat, ready to be able to sync with, and as long as you've got those bodies, you want to be able to line those up in that cone, and you're able to possess all of those. What the Seer now does though is disappears from your arm and manifests itself out into the battlefield and into the Meridian, so it can actually be damaged while it does have possession of these nanos, but these nanos will now basically resurrect, almost as if you've played any kind of necromancer class in any kind of game before, and these nanos will now pretty much go out there and be able to do some damage and take on your threats while you are taking them on yourself. Now one little key feature that you should know about Turn the Tide is that it does have a little bit of randomness to it as far as I can tell, which means that some nanos will just be a basic nano which will have the blades on their arms and they will do substantial damage, and an army of these is more than enough. Basically you'll be absolutely fine if you can get these, but there seems to be a small chance that some of these nanos can turn into prime nanos, and that means they come with more effective combat capabilities and more health. What I have seen is we've had the incinerator one, so they're able to chuck grenades over quite a distance and they're able to use their flame and be able to do their melee attacks, and I have also seen a corroder as well, being able to deposit some poison gas in an area, and that was very effective at being able to take down a bunch of enemies all in close proximity. What's great about this is that any of those nanos that do actually get some of those kills will drop some more bodies on the floor, ready for you to be able to possess them all over again once these nanos do expire. Now when they do expire, they just disappear, they pretty much just die, they pretty much kill themselves. As far as I can tell, I think the upgrade to this, while we do not have the exact description because unfortunately there's no way to be able to scroll down, I think there's going to be something to do with them potentially exploding or being able to do some kind of damage as they dissipate and as they die. So there's going to be something a little bit more to the mod, but unfortunately I don't know exactly what that is from the limited testing I've had. So it's great that you have this mod that allows you to be able to make multiple targets, which once again takes away the aggro from yourself, which is all the more better, especially in solo run-throughs of the PvE mode, because the more aggro that's taken by other components or more of the AI in this game, the healthier you stay, and that allows you to be able to complete the levels a little bit easier. Now we do have some timings when it comes to this mod as well, and I have tested this with a couple of the nanos that are out there, but I've noticed that if you do take over possession of some of these enemies, they will last for 20 seconds in your care, and then after that they will then dissipate. After they've dissipated, you then need to be able to recall the nano back to your arm, and you just wait 5 seconds to be able to have another charge, and then once again you're good to go for another 20 seconds. Now there is a small caveat to this, because I noticed that when I was trying to take over some enemies near the spire at the end of Dead Sector 1, I was trying to take over a bunch of them, and unfortunately they literally got possessed and then died straight away. Now I can't tell if this is a bug, I can't tell if this is because of the terrain that they were in, and there's just something built into the code that they have to instantly die or something like that. There's definitely something else going on there, but just notice that if that does happen, the best way to be able to get around it is send out your Seer, just to be able to do like a patrol, just send them somewhere else so they're off your arm, and then recall them straight back, and then you just wait that another 5 seconds and then you're good to go. That seemed to fix it for me, but definitely keep that in mind when you do encounter that if you do use it in Dead Sector 1. So we talked about all the mod and reasons why it's so good so far, so let's have a look into how we're effectively able to spawn as many bodies as possible so we can get that massive nano army that we've always wanted. Now, some of the most effective combinations in the demo to be able to turn the tide, to be able to trigger, to be able to get those corpses on the floor, is going to be using things to be able to damage multiple enemies at the exact same time. Now, obviously, we do have access to gadgets that are able to be able to deal damage in an area of effect, but we do also have access to other mods that allow us to be able to deal damage to more enemies than one. For example, with the Seer, but since we are using the Seer to be able to turn the tide, we can also use them with shrapnel bullets, where hitting weak points triggers the shrapnel bullets, and it splits between 4 enemies, but if you do get the upgraded version, it goes up to 8, and then it also increases the amount of damage that shrapnel damage will deal, allowing you to be able to take out multiple enemies all at the same time. If you then also pair this with something like explosive ricochet, where kill shots can ricochet between nanos, triggering explosions, these in combination will do a massive amount of damage, and it will also do area of effect damage, especially when you've got the explosions. You can also get something with the explosives tier to be able to get yourself the parting gift, which allows you to be able to drop an explosive every single time a nano is killed, and this has a big explosion radius, especially considering how many nanos will be taken out at the same time, meaning that we'll be able to chain multiple explosions, basically meaning that nothing is going to be surviving that nuke that's right next to you. And there we go, that pretty much wraps up everything on the video as to why I think the Seer, just with this one mod, is going to be top tier when it comes to PvE when the Vel game does release in the summer. Let me know in the comment section down below, what are your thoughts about being able to summon a whole horde of undead nanos? Do you think it's currently too strong? Do you think it's not strong enough? And would you like a more consistent way to be able to get those prime nanos, to be able to spawn, to be able to take out other bosses, to be able to make their own fight themselves? Massive thank you for making your way to the end of the video. Massive thank you to the Babylonian family, as always, for their continued support. It really does help the channel out. And that just leaves me to say, keep yourselves safe, keep yourselves well, and I'll see you all on the next video.